Maybe. Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console. I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. It looks like a lot of data was beamcast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eleuthea's gone?
If it was ever here, then probably. But then why were the Zeniths still searching for the asset? Let's keep looking around.
So, exploring another Far Zenith ruin.
At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up. All this stuff. Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their own benefit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ectogenic chambers. Like the ones I saw inside a Zero Dawn cradle facility.
What were they for?
Remember when I told you I was made, not born? This is how.
A machine. Machine that makes a person. That's incredible.
Yeah. This place keeps on going. We better check in that room. huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here somewhere.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around. So, how is Erend taking all of this? Really?
Well, Gaia, Zenith, Focus. It's a lot. But when I caught up to him in the Daunt and said you needed our help, he dropped everything and turned around.
Well, he's loyal. That's for sure. A control console to access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Well, let's find out.
$236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
You're right. Should check the log.
Aloy. It's you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Hello, Elizabeth. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Beta. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Farsineth. They are ruthless, and they have Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least they don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed, or this was all for nothing. Good luck, and goodbye.
So she's...
She's still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy! Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
2 of those Spectre things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other one's waiting up here.
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
I'll protect her.
I should prepare before the Spectre gets here. I can't let it get through to Varl on the clone. Here it comes! Ooh, ugly one, aren't you? I should scan that thing. See if it has any weak spots. That thing's quick! I needed that. Enough. There.
Are you okay, Aloy?
Yeah, I'm heading up top. Stay down here with the clone for now.
Got it. I'll follow once the coast is clear.
Gotta get back up top and deal with that other Spectre. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
Aloy!
Aaron!
Yeah, the Spectre's dug its heels in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight, I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Aaron. I'm here.
I jabbed it. That thing's shooting down the center.
Stay put. I'll see what I can do.
Spectre, you need me. I'm there.
Spectre's not budging from that spot. I might be able to sneak up on it if I stay out of its line of fire. I'll fight if I take that thing head on. It's on the move!
I got your back, Aloy.
heavy weapon. That could help.
Aloy, can you hit this thing with acid? Who's that?
I could use it against the Spectre. This is coming.
Wow, Don't you go dying on me! Bring it on! Watch yourself, Aloy! Gets a blood bug, Need to handle this, Aloy? Give me your best. Aloy, you okay?
Keep me in the fight.
Aloy, she's... Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon. If I can figure out how that thing works, maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all. No. Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing. I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze. If we can replicate it, maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. I should check on the clone, too. Varl, where's our guest?
We're in the maintenance corridor below the control room.
Okay.
Anybody seen one of my machine strike pieces around?
Erend? You okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
'Cause there's two of me now.
Right, there's two of you now. Well, at least you seem to be handling it okay.
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm trying. How are you settling in?
Yeah, I don't know who makes him more nervous, that Gaia lady or our new Utaru friend.
Well, what about the Vanguard? Aren't you supposed to be back
I sent some of them back to Meridian with a message. I doubt Avad will mind me sticking around to help.
Did you speak with Beta at all?
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. And when she did, I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Varl took. No use crowding someone.
So Talana came by the base?
Yeah, more like rushed through. I was hoping she's the only Carja I've ever met who's any fun. But it seemed like she had more
I see Varl gave you a foot.
Well, it doesn't look as fashionable on me, but granted, a lot of them are bad, you know, the old world. I'm still trying to wrap my head around. I never really understood how you were ever able to find my sister back in the Sundom. And now I do, sort of. It makes me feel like I could be useful, you know?
It takes some time, but yeah. What else have you been studying with your...
Yeah, I've been looking into this Vegas place you found. Gaia showed us everything that happened when you went to get that Poseidon thing. I mean, this Morlund guy seems pretty smart. Though, risking the Tenakth clan lands for a light show is a bold move.
Maybe I should check up on them at some point.
Right.
What are you working on with your focus?
I'm still figuring out how... Those two lovebirds over there. But to be honest, all the little symbols. But I'll get up to speed.
I guess you know what we're up against by now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Varl first told me those bastards come from the stars, I thought he'd eaten too many of those medicinal berries. Yeah, but I've gotten used to seeing impossible things. Thanks to you. I just wish they weren't always trying to kill us.
Yeah, you and me both. I have to get going.
Don't go causing...
Aloy, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just,
You mean after meeting someone, but isn't you? Guess this must be even...
a little.
Varl said she may be able to help us...
Maybe. Sounds like you met my friend Talana.
Yes. The Carja Huntress. I haven't, but Varl tells me that she too suffered...
Yeah. She's one of the good ones. So you've been talking to...
Yes. She was kind enough, including their demise, and I was surprised, past, but reborn?
You said you met Beta?
Varl mentioned she was hurt.
That was kind of you.
I just hope she doesn't plan on staying burrowed down there like that. She looks like she's barely seen the light.
What are you up to?
Gaia was kind enough to put together a... She helped me decipher some of the... and showed me how to use the... It's not easy, but...
That's good to hear. I see you've settled in.
Gaia, so we could regain control of our lands with her... Nurture them like the land gods do Plainsong's fields. It does strike me as odd that a place of life should have so much...
What else have you been up to?
I've been studying Gaia. I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they... Imagine my surprise when I looked into and found out it helped create all in a way, the Utaru as well as our current...
That's why we have to make Gaia. Varl looks pretty focused.
He's been obsessing over the data revealed. Just the other day we read about mountains hiding deep underwater. That, if I understand correctly, Gaia said the flames they release come beating, as always. The cycle can... Of course, Varl's mostly interested in watching explosions happen underwater.
Did Gaia tell you anything?
She did. Though it was... To think that there are places among the stars where life can bloom as it does here, it is... And heartbreaking. That such life should be bent on destroy...
I was hoping you...
For generations, they... Food for all. A blessed land. They had always enriched the soil, but... For several seasons, they have... At least now I know why. Without it, that is why I must find a way to...
So, how does a tribe like the warriors like the Tenakth?
By holding them off. When our fields bloomed aplenty, the Tenakth looked upon our... But Plainsong's dishes provided sanctuary. In the end, even the Tenakth saw sense. The Utaru promised to provide the Tenakth with food from our crop. In exchange, the Tenakth would relinquish one of their own, a veteran, to train the Utaru in combat. This custom was abandoned a few years after the derangement. But some veterans still
I believe I've met them already. I've been meaning to ask. You didn't seem to be on the best of...
That's what happens when you're the one Utaru who insists on publicly defying them. When the Karja invaded the Utaru plains, they did more than just attack our villages. They burned our fields. Took those who were too weak to make the trip back
to be sacrificed in the sun.
I was helping the healers back then. The chorus was divided in how to face the invasion. Others believed the dishes would keep us safe. And while they bickered...
You called yourself a...
To all living things an end must come. I try to bring comfort.
Couldn't have been easy.
I come from a small village. My grandmother used to... I moved to the dishes when the Red Raids began, but the injured kept pouring into Plainsong. One day, I woke up to hear a Karja raiding party had ransacked my... I rushed there with the healers to help the survivors, but the smell of burning flesh haunts...
I'm sorry, Zoe.
I made it a point to demand that we take a stand. I was denied.
You said you set out to fight...
I did. News of my disagreement. Before I knew it, I had more than a... We knew we couldn't take on the Karja, but we also knew the lay of the land better than they. We ambushed, sabotaged their supply lines, and hit their encampment.
Sounds like you were a force to be reckoned with.
Enough that the Tenakth took notice. When the clans began to push the Karja back east, they let us join their... We chased the enemy all the way to...
You said you were at Barren Light?
Tenakth marshals climbed the cliffs of the Daunt under cover. Then attacked. Before we knew it, the gates were open, and what happened next was... When all the dust and blood settled, our enemies defeated. I went back to Plainsong. It didn't feel like I'd...
Is that when you became...
I thought soothing. Then you came along. I could either sing at people's grave...
I'm glad you chose the... I need to get going.
May the land...
Aloy! Glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall.
Everything real feels unreal. Distant. Is there anything that can help? Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work. Yeah. Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information. About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago? That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed. So far, Zenith established a colony world after all. Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable. Okay, so the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves? Not their descendants. What? Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know? How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves? I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants. And you? Does that mean that you're... I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function. Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it? When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over. So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone? When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they didn't seem to care. So, I concluded that then they can redesign it. To be mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing that. So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them? They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do what he says. Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab. He enjoys hurting people. Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zeniths set up a base here on Earth. Where is it? Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zenith. They were discussing setting up a perimeter to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols. It must be. What's inside the base? Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need. Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met? I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space. Other survivors of the colony. The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facility. Trained you. And you? They told me I was born to interface with the Zero... When we reached Earth, that's when I started to realize I wasn't meant. That they must have made me, so I could do what their remote reboot Earth. But... So you know about the It was speculation, but... The only logical self-destructed after operating efficiently for Gaia would have only undertaken such a action if it had detected a threat to life that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized the sheer recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her. Yeah, well... You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A. The Zeniths never told you any details.
They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then...
Guess they survived old age. How did you escape the Zeniths?
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research, I saw an
You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to camp. What did you do, exactly?
Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me.
The one the rebels killed.
Banis dead? How did they bypass her shield?
I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape?
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eluthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Luthia faster if I had it with me, and they...
Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth.
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chip, an updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored...
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA.
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed.
You said you spent years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database. Before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters,
to have all that knowledge. All right, I think that's enough for now.
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more support before Guy is powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What? You don't have Hephaestus?
Guy is still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single location. Of course not!
You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are. You were supposed to be further along by now. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me.
They're not going to find us. Guy is using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? We're never going to beat them. Everything.
Hey. Calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you...
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry.
Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. I'll check on you.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
The old ones used holograms for everything. Holograms are illusions, though. I wonder if at some point they just couldn't tell what we were doing.
Maybe. They were intelligent, but that doesn't mean they were wise.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment, I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology, but not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Eleuthia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The 2 remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Sylens' weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more sub-functions to get.